Welcome back to the news at 10. We cross over to Abuja now. Here's Gloria Umeozuke. Gloria.
Hello, Ijoma. The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Senator Ali Modu Sheriff, has accused his political rival, Senator Ahmed Makafi, of frustrating reconciliation efforts brokered by former President Goodluck Jonathan. A briefing journalist in Abuja, Senator Sheriff's deputy, Mr. Cairo Ojugbo, says the party's National Working Committee has also been talking to the leaders of the party to fix a date for a convention. Meanwhile, the spokesperson of the Makafi-led caretaker committee, Mr. Dayo Adeyeye, insists that Mr. Makafi or Mr. Sheriff has been the one frustrating the peace efforts.
Despite almost 1 year of silence on the PDP leadership tussle, former President Goodluck Jonathan became the rallying point as some leaders of the party, including the two warring factions led by Senators Ahmed Makafi and Ali Modu Sheriff, consult with him on how to reconcile the party. Some political watchers saw these meetings as a way out of the leadership crisis. However, recent accusations and counter-accusations from members of the party is denting that prospect.
They are the only bodies today that say they do not want political settlement. His Excellency Dr. Ebele Goodluck Jonathan met with the governors to pursue a political solution.
Meanwhile, the spokesperson of the Makafi-led caretaker committee, Mr. Dayo Adeyeye, insists that Sheriff has been frustrating the process of resolving the crisis in-house.
As far as we are concerned, that agreement states clearly that all parties should resign. Then our lawyers will then meet and draw up an agreement that we can present to the Supreme Court as a voluntary judgment that we have fully agreed to before the court. So this can provide both a legal and a political solution, so that we don't say, okay, it's political solution, the legal matter is still going on. This will provide both a legal and political solution to the crisis. But Sheriff has rejected that.
The two representatives of Senators Makafi and Sheriff also state their position regarding the pending appeal at the Supreme Court.
If they feel that they don't want political settlement, that they want to wait for the Supreme Court, it is their choice.
We want to ask why Senator Sheriff is running away from justice by avoiding service from the Supreme Court.
Both former President Goodluck Jonathan and other leaders of the PDP have recommended out-of-court settlement for the warring factions. But as it stands, it is a fight to finish between Makafi and Sheriff as they look to the apex court for its final pronouncement on the matter.
And the last may not have been heard about the December 10, 2016 legislative rerun elections in Rivers State. The Justice Chinwendu Nwogu Judicial Panel of Inquiry set up to investigate the killings and violence during the polls has submitted its report to the state government. In order to curb crisis resulting from chieftaincy tussle, the state governor also inaugurated a commission of inquiry on traditional stools. Our correspondent, Emmanuel Ireyi, reports.
It was the much anticipated December the 10th legislative elections in Rivers State. The exercise was generally greeted with tension, with deaths recorded, leaving political parties in war of words and security operatives in the mix. And after weeks of investigation into the violence, the seven-man panel led by Justice Chinwendu Nwogu is here to submit his report. The chairman of the panel then presents the documents to the governor. And while appreciating the work done by the commission, Governor Nyesom Wike says the government will take it up from here.
I haven't watched a brief documentary of your activities. It showed that you were thorough. It showed that you knew what you were doing. I can assure you that the government of the state will immediately sit and consider the report and bring out its white paper. Thereafter, the Attorney General will be directed to forward it to the police for immediate action.
The governor also inaugurates an administrative panel of inquiry into issues and crises surrounding chieftaincy matters and the traditional institution in the state.
The assignment we are going to carry out is it will not be an easy one. So many people will not allow you to sleep. I have confidence in you that you resist attempts to influence you.
The government is expected to produce its white paper on the panel's report on the killings, while the Commission of Inquiry into the traditional stools in the state is expected to deliver its findings and recommendations in 45 days. Emmanuel Irei, Channels Television News.
The Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, says the body has decided to extend the deadline for broadcast organizations yet to pay the renewal fees for their licenses. At a press conference today in Abuja, the NBC asked debtor stations to pay up before March the 31st or have their stations shut down. According to the NBC director, both state and national, public and private radio and television broadcast stations owe over 5 billion naira in license fees.
There are those who used political connections with the topmost political leadership of Nigeria in the past to get illegal and undue favors that run contrary to the NBC Act and the Nigeria Broadcasting Code. It's a different period in our country. Nobody will go up to Aso Villa and get some black market deal anymore. We gave a timeline of March 15, 2017 for all stations owing outstanding licensing fees to effect payment. After consultations, that timeline has been extended to March 31st, 2017. We're not unreasonable. We can look at what the problems are, but you have to pay the money. Some of them, licenses have expired as far back as 2015. And 6 months to the expiration of your license, you're supposed to inform the NBC that you want to continue as a licensee of NBC. They didn't bother to inform us. They continued to operate as if we were in a Hobbesian state of nature. And then they have this temerity to tell us how much they want to pay. We are going to close down those stations when the day after March 31st.
Well, that's it from Abuja. Let's now join Emana Amawe in Lagos for business news.
You first. First Bank.
Thank you for staying with us. Welcome to Business News. The central bank today continued its rapid interventions at the foreign exchange markets, selling a total of $1.320 billion after last week's record $567 million sale. Currency traders tell Channels Television that the financial regulator sold $120 million at the interbank spot market and another $1.2 billion in various tenors at the forward FX market as business doors opened on Monday. The forex sales today pushed the Naira-dollar exchange rate to 455 at the street level in the afternoon. The central bank has engaged in aggressive and consistent interventions at the FX market since mid-January, when it announced some shifts in its foreign exchange policy. And Nigeria's Debt Management Office has commenced the public subscription of the new FGN savings bond, selling the first tranche of March 2019 at 13.01%. According to the DMO, the product would be accessible to all income groups for a minimum subscription of 5,000 naira per unit and maximum subscription of 50 million naira. The papers range from 2 to 3 years. Analysts at research firm AfriInvest expect the bonds to deepen retail penetration and improve involvement in the local bonds market, and also revitalize the activity level in the market. The primary market offer would run for 5 days, with forms available through the approved stock brokers across the country. Profit-taking by investors, particularly in the shares of Zenith Bank, pulled the all-share index down by 40 basis points at the close of Monday's trading session on the NSE. Here's BC Adebayo with details.
It's a negative close at the start of stocks trading for the week as the all-share index dropped by 0.40% to 25,136.63, with a lower total market value of 8.69 trillion naira, following the fall in the prices of some of the key sectors of the NSE. Monday's total transaction also yielded an impressive turnover of 135 million shares worth 681.16 million naira in 2,909 deals. On the other hand, three financial services stocks, Diamond Bank, FBN Holding and Fidelity, recorded the most significant patronage by investors. The price losers outnumbered the gainers by 13 against 11 stocks, with Zenith posting the highest drop of 10.01% to lead the decliners, while United Capital led Union Bank, Echo Bank Transnational, and 8 other advances by 6.2%, but with little effect on the markets. That ends the stock market report. I am BC Adebayo.
In the meantime, U.S. markets opened trading session slightly higher today, ahead of a busy global calendar week. Let's join VOA Channel's TV business correspondent, Joe Malandrino, at the NASDAQ market site in New York.
U.S. stocks opened slightly higher with little market action expected ahead of the two-day FOMC policy meeting this Tuesday and Wednesday. The Northeast also prepares for a frigid winter storm over the next 48 hours that could lighten trading desks over that period. Now, March has been an unusually busy month for global markets, and that will continue this week. It'll probably be one of the busiest weeks traders have for all of 2017. In addition to the Fed, the Bank of Japan and Bank of England are set to meet. The Netherlands holds an election. The Chinese premier is holding a news conference, and the G20 finance ministers are meeting in Germany this week. Stateside investors will have a fresh set of retail sales data, as well as the consumer price index, housing starts, and leading indicators. By the end of the day Wednesday, the U.S. Treasury is expected to reach its maximum debt ceiling, which means Secretary Treasury Steven Mnuchin will have to scramble to ensure the country can continue to keep paying its bills in full and on time. German Chancellor Angela Merkel will meet with Trump in the U.S. Capitol on Tuesday, and the results of their talks will be watched closely to see if Berlin and Washington could get past a variety of potential strains to the transatlantic relationship that have risen this year. From the NASDAQ market site in New York, I'm Jill Malandrino, and this is VOA Channel's Business News.
Global stock markets are mostly higher today, ahead of the much-awaited interest rates decision by the U.S. Federal Reserve's beginning tomorrow. Let's see what the numbers look like. And that's Business News tonight. I'm Emana Amawe. It's back to Ijoma.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Emana. Still ahead on the news at 10. South African city of Durban stripped of hosting rights for 2022 Commonwealth Games over failure to provide financial guarantees. That's on sports. Please stay with us.